Lately, I've been feeling overwhelmed by two things: getting married and finding a job. There are many moments when I feel completely stressed and mentally exhausted. Right now, I just hope I can settle the job issue as soon as possible. Hello everyone, I am Kevin, and I am 35 years old. I am currently trying hard to find a job. In this video, I will continue sharing my recent job search situation and progress with you. Please watch patiently until the end, because I will honestly share what it is really like for me to look for work in China. There is pressure in this process, and there is also a kind of helplessness that only people who have experienced it can understand. Today I want to start by brushing my cat's fur. She has been shedding really badly recently. I have also tried buying things like fish oil supplements for her. I was hoping that improving her nutrition might make her fur a little stronger. But there is still no way to completely avoid the problem of shedding. After all, this is the season when cats tend to shed more. Now I am going out for a bit to walk around the nearby night market and take out the trash on the way. This shopping area is close to my home, and you can basically buy almost anything here, so daily life is very convenient. I do not even need to drive because I can just walk here. One reason I considered buying a home here was that the surrounding commercial area is already quite developed. Life is convenient here, and if I have children in the future, things like school and daily routines will also be much easier. I will buy a coffee first. The coffee here is 9.9 yuan per cup. You can choose a latte, an iced Americano, or a regular Americano. For 9.9 yuan, the price is actually very good. I usually prefer ordering the jasmine-flavored coffee. Speaking of coffee, there are many choices in China because the competition is intense. There is also a drink shop called Gumming, where I often buy Americano coffee. Their Americano is very cheap. Because they often have coupons, I can usually buy an iced Americano for only 5.2 yuan. Why do I remember that price so clearly? Because I go there almost 3 or 4 times every week. I think it is a good deal, so I end up buying it pretty often. Next, I will drink my coffee while showing you around the nearby night market. Once evening comes, all kinds of stalls appear here, and there are many choices. Sometimes when I do not feel like cooking dinner, I come out and buy some food from these stalls. If you buy a little bit of different foods, you can put together a simple dinner. It is really convenient, and I do not have to cook at home, especially since summer is so hot. There is a fruit shop here called Shan Leguo, and I come here quite often. The fruit at this shop is pretty fresh, and it is right next to our residential community. That is why I often come here to buy fruit. For example, with durian like this, they already peel it for you in advance. Cherries are usually more expensive, especially the imported ones. I really want to eat them, but they are honestly too expensive. Since I have no income right now, I cannot really spend money on these more expensive fruits. Now is the season for peaches and watermelon, so they are usually cheaper. In the end, I chose to buy watermelon. After you buy it, the owner cuts it for you, and then you can eat it directly with bamboo sticks. You can also eat it slowly with a fork. I found a spot by the roadside because I wanted to eat watermelon and chat with you at the same time. It is cooler by the roadside, and I also wanted to enjoy the breeze for a while. I've been staying at home too much recently, so I wanted to come out for some fresh air. So I will just finish it here by the roadside. Speaking of filming by the roadside, some foreign friends have asked me a question before. They asked whether I was worried that someone might snatch my filming equipment. I am bringing this up because foreign friends have genuinely asked me this before. One of those friends was from South America, for example Brazil. Because situations like that do happen there, he asked me this question. But in China, people basically will not snatch your things. Now it is the next morning, and I need to get up early today. I have an interview scheduled today, which I also mentioned in a previous video. So after breakfast I will go to that company for the interview. This breakfast stall only opens for a few hours in the morning. They sell steamed dumplings, eggs, buns, and tofu pudding. For something like tofu pudding, I think it is quite suitable for people who work out, because it has a decent amount of protein. So I also like eating tofu pudding. There are two flavors to choose from. You can add sugar, or you can make it savory with soy sauce. Back in my hometown in Hunan, people usually prefer adding sugar. I grew up eating sweet tofu pudding. After I came to Jiangsu, I started trying savory tofu pudding. The savory version is actually pretty good, and from a fitness perspective, it is better not to take in too much white sugar. So if you have the chance, you can try it too. This tofu pudding is made by the owner, probably the night before, or early in the morning, so it is quite fresh. Because tofu pudding is not easy to store, it is usually made fresh, and sold the same day. Next, I want to talk to you about today's interview. I scheduled it with them for the morning, so I will go there after breakfast. I am truly grateful that the boss was willing to give me an interview opportunity. I have submitted so many resumes, but I have barely received any interview opportunities. I have also thought carefully about why this is happening, and one reason is that I know my own abilities are limited. I am just an ordinary person without any especially outstanding skills, and I admit that. My ability is definitely not the strongest, but I still do not think it should be so hard to even get one interview. That is what has been bothering me. Later, I asked some people online, and compared their experiences with people around me, and with my own situation. And I noticed a common pattern. Once you are over 35, many companies become less willing to hire so-called older employees. They may think that older employees usually expect higher salaries. So from a labor cost perspective, companies are often unwilling to spend more money for similar work. If the job responsibilities are similar, they may prefer younger candidates. For example, they can hire recent graduates at a salary lower than what they would pay more experienced employees. Also, younger employees are often seen as easier to manage. Another point is that younger people usually have more energy. When I consider all these factors together, I can understand why many business owners prefer hiring younger people. But over time, this has become a social phenomenon, especially for ordinary job seekers around the age of 35. After you pass 35, finding a job really becomes much harder. At the moment, there is still not enough protection for job seekers in this situation. Society is based on fair competition, so in many cases I cannot really complain, and can only accept reality. My expectations are not high at all. I just hope to have an ordinary job that can support me. But honestly, in China, even that is quite difficult. I do not know what it is like in other countries, but in many Chinese cities, this situation is very common. On top of that, labor costs are already low, so competition among job seekers becomes even more intense. That is why I can also understand what these business owners are thinking. The economy is not doing well right now, and many companies are laying people off. If business owners themselves are not making money, it is hard for them to offer more positions. That is especially true for older job seekers like us. So I'm truly grateful that this company was willing to give me an interview today. As you just saw, I first completed a set of materials and questions required for the interview. Today, I also had a face-to-face conversation with the person in charge of recruitment for the department. The conversation felt pretty good, and I did everything I could, so I think the interview went fairly well. In the end, they told me to go home and wait for an update. No matter what the result is, I've already done my best. But everyone knows that when a company says wait for an update, it often means the chances may not be very high. But what else can I do? If I cannot change something, I should stop thinking about it too much for now. I will just finish this bowl of noodles in front of me. Today, I used the ingredients I already had at home to make myself a bowl of egg noodles. I added some small toppings like sour bamboo shoots, which I personally really like. I also added some peanuts. Just a simple bowl of noodles like this is already enough to make me feel satisfied. Cooking at home costs much less. So most of the time, I still choose to cook at home. When you live alone, making a meal like this is actually not too difficult. As for whether this interview will lead to anything, we will continue talking about it in the next video.